Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mike, and I just wanted to do something fun today. I'm on BigBadToyStore.com, and I just wanted to go through some of the pre-orders and new arrivals, just some of the stuff they have for sale on here. Just to get it out of the way, I'm not affiliated with them. They don't give me anything for doing this, and I've bought a couple things from them before, had a pretty good experience, so that's all good. But just this is not an ad. This is just me looking through fun toys and stuff and just commenting on them. Because if you go on the website and other websites like it, I'm sure they have new pre-orders up like all the time. You know, there's probably 10 or 12 new things available for pre-order every day. So it's kind of just fun to look and see what kind of stuff they're coming up with these days, and just try to catch something. If you want to buy it, pre-order it before it sells out. So let's just take a look at some of the pre-orders, and I'll show you what I mean, and maybe we'll look at some of the new arrivals too, because that's just another batch of stuff to look at. So this is the newest stuff, is always on the top, just like you would expect. E-Honda, Naruto. There's this Star Wars Jabba the Hutt that interested me, but it looks really weird, so let's take a look at that. So it looks like this is a concept of some kind, which makes sense. One-to-one recreation of Phil Tippett's original sculpture. That's kind of cool. To me, I think you'd have to really be into Star Wars or know a lot of people that are too, because I think if most people see this on your shelf, they're probably just going to be like, that doesn't really look like him, just because they wouldn't know any better. Obviously, if you're a hardcore fan, the concept thing is kind of cool. But, I don't know. $349, how big is this thing? 5x9. It's not too big, but price doesn't seem too bad. Let's see what else we got here. I like these. I was a big Gremlins fan when I was a kid. Weirdly, though, more Gremlins 2, because that's the one I saw in the theater. I don't know why. I think the first Gremlins, I was a little too young. It kind of scared me. But this is actually, I thought this was going to be a NECA figure, but it's actually Trick or Treat Studios, it says here. Oh, this is a big one. 25 inches tall. $250. Wow. Pretty neat, though, if you like Gremlins. Dark Knight Returns is probably one of my favorite Batman comics. A lot of people think it's kind of overrated, and if I reread it, I can kind of see why. But I still really, really like it. I think it was pretty groundbreaking. So it's pretty cool that they're making these figures based on the comic. I don't really love these figures that have this torso. It's like, I get what they're going for because it makes them much more posable. You can kind of twist their torso around. But I just think it's just, there's a big crease in their stomach and it just doesn't look right. There you can't really tell. I don't know how you'd really pose him like that, but I guess you could with a stand. So, kind of neat. Whoa. The crotch is really weird. Yeah, I don't know about that. See, the knees and the elbows are kind of weird too. Like, again, I know what they're trying to go for. They want it to be really posable, but I just think it makes the figure look bad. And this is weird. I don't know if you would ever really have him stand like that. You'd probably avoid it, judging by how this looks. But this reminds me of those old He-Man figures, which I loved, and they were chunky and cool. But if you stretch their limbs out really far, you can kind of see these rubber band sort of things in there. So I don't know about all that. $149. They charge a lot for these because of the posability. It's not my thing. Let's see what else we got here. If I'm skipping anything you wanted me to look at, let me know in the comments, because I tend to just kind of look at things that I enjoy. So, I have nothing against Iron Man. I kind of like Iron Man. He's it's just not a favorite of mine or anything like that. Back to the Future stuff, always interested in that. Here's a DeLorean. It's a motion statue. Let's see what that means. Motion feature brings the piece to life. Okay. The statue really does move. It doesn't really say what it does, though. Does it just spin, maybe? $50. Sounds about right. Stand is kind of cool. I'm guessing it just spins or maybe like goes up and down a little bit. I don't know. This is one of those items that, you know, it's kind of like, it's cool, but, you know, next year there'll be some other DeLorean model or statue or something, so I never really feel a crazy need to get one. And actually, the more that I'm looking at this one, like, the detail on this is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it just, there's a lot of detail on it, but once you get up close, it kind of looks like molded clay, sort of. Like, the edges are not sharp on anything, so it's a cool little thing. I mean, I could see myself maybe like an impulse buy getting it, or if someone got it for me for Christmas or something, I would appreciate it, but just looks okay to me. Funko Pops, no. Probably never going to talk about those. If we do, it's for the wrong reasons. But I love the old Turtles movie, so this is probably the most you'll ever get me to comment on these. I don't think these look too bad, just because the turtle head kind of goes along with that Funko format, so it doesn't look all that bad. These super deformed things I don't really get either, to be honest with you. Like, I would just rather have a nice Spider-Man toy or statue or something than these. Let's see what else here. This is the second or third Batman kind of like throwback Japanese samurai concept figures that I've seen. I don't know why that's kind of a link that people connect to, but I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess. This is expensive as hell. Let's see how big it is. 26 inches. That's pretty damn big, so I can kind of get that. And the detail looks awesome. I mean, he looks really good there. The stand is pretty awesome, too. I mean, it's kind of like a feudal Japan version of the bat signal. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Not sure if it lights up. Maybe we can find out. But the detail on this is pretty awesome, I have to admit. The only thing about this is it's so much money. I mean, if you've got more money than I do, maybe you're just like, yeah, the price. Maybe for some people the price doesn't matter. But that's really expensive for a statue, which I think is really nice. It looks huge. It does say light up bat signal, so it does light up. That's cool. 2 head sculpts, 2 different arms. They give you all this different stuff so that you can kind of change him up and change him around, which is neat. Looks like there are more pictures that I didn't go through. Yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff here that you can take off or put on, which is neat. My only thing with these is, I mean, the price is prohibitive for me, for sure. But even with that, even if this was half the price, I'd probably still go with, like, a more traditional Batman statue. I don't know. If you have all kinds of Batman stuff already and you've got money to burn, then this is something that I could see someone going for. But for me, I would just like a nice, clean, classic-looking Batman statue. But this is badass. It's just the price is crazy. Let's look at the Joker one real quick. I don't know if I'm loving that. I get why they did the long hair, but it just looks kind of weird on him. The base is... I don't love it, but it's kind of cool. How much is this guy? He's just slightly less expensive. Looks like he's just doesn't come with quite as many things as Batman does. Those are really cool, but see this one here, this is probably more my speed. I don't really have a strong feeling one way or another about this particular statue, but I mean, this is classic Batman. This is probably more what I would go for. It's a foot tall, which is pretty big. That's the other reservation I have about getting one of these statues is just they're so big. I mean, this one is reasonable, but these other two, I mean, a 2 foot tall statue. I mean, how wide is this? I wonder if it says. It doesn't really say. I mean, it might be a foot wide, which it's just like I don't know where to put some of this shit, but they're cool nonetheless if you can afford them. Go through a few more here. A lot of Gundam stuff. There's always a ton of Gundam stuff. I never really understood these tikis. I guess they're kind of neat and just if you have to have geeky stuff all over your house, I mean they're kind of cool. But I never really thought they were necessary for me. What the hell is this? Michelangelo Garden Nerd Gnome. So this is a garden gnome, I guess. He looks weird, like I guess he's supposed to be a gnome, but it just looks like kind of Santa Claus-y to me. I guess this is a pizza box, and this is his garden gnome beard. This is weird. This is what I'm talking about. Some people just love having this kind of thing all over their house, anywhere they can put it. I'm not necessarily like that. 8 inches tall. Yeah, I guess you put it in your garden or your yard. The concept seems a little forced to me. Maybe just don't even give him the beard or the hat. I know they're going for the garden gnome thing or theme, but it's just this is just a weird thing. $25 isn't bad though. Let's check out some more. Oh, there's a Wolverine gnome. This is Dwight from The Office. Okay. It doesn't really look like him. I don't even... And I really like Dwight. I really like The Office, but I do not think I would recognize him. Plus, the bow tie. Did he wear a bow tie? I don't really recall. I'm sure he did at one point or another, but... Yeah, this is just kind of weird. The detail sucks on it, to be honest. I mean, you look at that, that's really forced. I don't see... Yeah, I don't see that looking like Dwight too much to me. That's a big thing for me, though. Like, you buy something like this, it's just, does it look like the character it's supposed to? If someone walks over and if some random person sees this and doesn't say, "Oh, Dwight, that's funny," it's kind of lame, and kind of misses the mark for me. Here's some Bill and Ted figures that look nothing like the actors. This one's not too bad. This is a BTTF sculpted movie poster in Ultimate Visual History. Well, that's interesting to me, but I think I'd just enjoy the book more than this. Let's take a look at it here. That looks awesome. See if we can get a better look at the sculpture here. Although I might have skipped it here. It's hard to tll. From what I can tell, Doc's face looks pretty good. Marty's looks just okay. It's kind of hard to pick out. This book looks really good, though. I love coffee table books, so I'm always interested in coffee table books of any kind. But I'd rather just pay $40 for the coffee table book. I don't think we need to get into $300. How big is this sculpture, by the way? It doesn't say. Well, it doesn't look that big, though. Kind of pricey, in my opinion. Some Star Wars stuff. I kind of like this. It's like a little... I don't really collect 6-inch action figures, but I really like this little diorama here. $52 is pretty steep. I guess you get a figure with it, so you can say that's $10. So... Oh, this is 3.75-inch scale. So these are the old figures you're going to use this for. I don't know. I like the idea, though, a lot. That's pretty cool. There's an Elvis figure. Venom looks pretty neat. $40. It's not too bad. Not too many angles there, but it's pretty neat. I think they could give him a little bit better of a pose. It looks like he's just kind of more or less standing there. No real flex to his arms or his his knees. 9 inches tall, $40. That's a pretty good deal. I think that's a pretty nice one if you love Venom. There's a lot of Castlevania stuff like this coming out, but I can't seem to find one that I love. I'm a pretty big Castlevania fan. I suppose this is from the animated series that Warren Ellis wrote. Yeah, Netflix. There we go. I kind of like it, but his face just seems devoid of all detail. That's the one thing I... Yeah, and actually, I don't like this. I don't like these flames at all. Why are they? Why are they in front of him? I don't get that. Again, though, $50 if you really want something like this. It's pretty nice. Not a huge expenditure. They really need to put how tall it is, because this could be 6 inches tall or it could be 1.5 feet. Who knows? Kind of makes a huge difference with the price. Let's take a look at a few more things here. There's some weird Disney property figures. Love the Muppets, though. I don't really understand these busts. I mean, I've seen some life-size busts where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but I don't really get why you wouldn't just buy an entire figure. I don't know. They keep making them, though. Someone likes them. I don't know what the hell this is, but it looks pretty cool. $200, Mecha Will Rise. I don't know what this is. Sometimes these aren't based on a movie or a show or anything. They're just concepts that these companies come up with, and sometimes they look pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. It looks like it's like he's like a, I mean, he has a bow and arrow, obviously, but it also looks like maybe he's like a graffiti artist, sort of, too. Tagger, I guess they call it. It's pretty neat. I mean, I love the detail. Like, the jacket and the shirt are awesome. The pants are cool. Oh, look at these on the belt there. That's a pretty awesome figure. Shoes are pretty cool. There's a lot of detail on this. $200 is a lot to spend, but 6 scale, so it's about 1 foot tall. That's neat. Let's look at the other one here. This orange one. See if he's any different. Yeah, he's got more of a sword. But same thing. Cool vest and a shirt, and he's got this kind of, I don't know if you call that a cowl or scarf. Scarf, I guess, is better. Yeah, they look pretty similar. This one actually, he doesn't look as cool to me. He still looks cool, but there's less stuff on his pants. The sword is not quite as cool as the bow and arrow, I don't think. Looks like he has some... He does have some stuff here, though. They look very similar, though. I've seen figures like this before where I'm like, wow, I kind of want to get that. And then I'm just like, I don't know. I could spend that money on something that's a little more close to my heart, like a Batman or a Star Wars thing or something. So, I'll have to find them sometime, but they also had figures like this. They were sort of like concepts for Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. And they were really cool. They were kind of cyborg-looking versions of those two characters. I'll have to find them sometime and show you. But I liked them a lot, but I was just like, it doesn't really look like the character, and I don't know, it's like it's not the actual character, and I'm spending $200. It's just odd. But I do think these are pretty badass. Jin from Tekken I always liked. Let's see. And you get a lot of this stuff. Some people are into that. Not me personally. This Ace Ventura, this Cthulhu figure I saw on Instagram. I have to talk about this. Okay, I love Cthulhu, but this doesn't look great to me. It's a little lacking in detail. And, I mean, look at this. He looks like he's taking a shit. I mean, come on. Look at that. That is comical right there. Wings are kind of cool. I mean, that is ridiculous. That's a no for me, I gotta say. 8 inches tall, it's not huge. I mean, $120. With this type of thing, that's probably about right, but that's just a silly looking figure to me. This Ace Ventura figure I kind of want, but as with a lot of these figures, it's like the head sculpt is pretty good, I guess. It's not fantastic, and that's what's holding me back. I love Ace Ventura. I love Jim Carrey. Those early Jim Carrey movies. I've seen Ace Ventura probably a million times. And I think the face is like almost there, but not quite. Like if you look at it from a certain, like this picture here, like he did make that face even for a brief moment or two in the movie. Like that looks like him right there. But you start clicking around, you're like, that doesn't quite look like him. That's okay. That's not bad, but it's not fantastic. That doesn't really look like him. And the other problem I have with this figure, and this is really not the fault of the manufacturer necessarily, but he wears a short sleeve shirt. So on his wrists, you can obviously see those joint balls that turn his wrists and stuff like that. So I'm really conflicted about this one. I think the price is not bad. He doesn't really come with... Well, he comes with a bunch of different hands. A pager, business card, and sunglasses. I don't know. Accessories are pretty light, but it keeps the price down. I don't know. I kind of want to pre-order that, but I'm afraid something else will come along. But and I'll need to pre-order the next thing and then the next thing. So that's just a few of the pre-orders. Maybe another time I'll go through the new arrivals. I'm sure there's some interesting stuff here. It's just another list of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any comments. What stuff did I skip that you thought looked awesome? I'll see you next time.